Alright, welcome back to Satisfactory. Time to hopefully make some progress this time. Alright, so last time, I did a bunch of stuff. I experimented with trains, which didn't go particularly well. Got a little bit frustrated with that. We need to focus on nitrogen though. I got sidetracked doing nuclear stuff and sulfur and all of that sort of rubbish, when what I actually need is nitrogen. So at our nexus point here, the first thing I want to check out, so nitrogen is here, and it's all pure, so it's definitely a good one to tap. Here's where we could put a booster in though. You know what? Less thinky, more doey. All powered up, and same here, they're just daisy chaining on anyway. And then we want to have power coming this way, because that's over here is where the nitrogen is, I think. There's a sort of road going through here anyway, isn't there? There's a sort of a track. You've got multiple other ports, so let's bring you down here, and let's just make this road a bit of a reality. There's the nitrogen over here. Bring this right in close. So how do we make this work? That's going to be the next question. I haven't done any research on this. So first we need to pressurize, and then we have the extractors, right? I think that's how this works. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Pressurize it, and then the nodes are on the outside. Okay, so let's do that. And connect you up. Should have twisted it just slightly. Oh, I love watching it attach. That looks cool. Potential of 1200 cubic meters per minute. Ooh, thump, thump, thump. Cool. Okay, that sounds cool. Next question is, how do we make things work? And also, how do we actually, like, I don't know. Oh, these don't require power, that's nice. How do we store it? We're going to have to put nitrogen into containers, I think, aren't we? That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? Oh yeah, MAM research. We found a ton of hard drives last time, didn't we? Well, let's connect one up for now. And what do you say here? 120 cubic meters per minute. Okay. We're going to need, first, probably an industrial fluid buffer. I think that makes an amount of sense immediately. So we can at least start capturing things. Now, what is it that we're using nitrogen for? We need to put it into a blender, don't we? Is one of the things we need. So if we just stick a blender down, like, why not? We're going to need one anyway. We can figure out how to make this work. We're going to need a bunch of other products as well. We've got a lot of space, so if we plop it down here and give enough room to have a couple of containers, or at least a container. I mean, the first priority is just the bit that we need, right? I mean, we can put a container at right angles if we need to. So let's just do that for now. Container can sit down here somewhere. That's good enough. Nitride hardened, so it's one frame, 50 casings, which we could just bring here via conveyor belt. Okay. Well, cooling system's the other thing I'm going to need. I need water as well, but I can bring that downhill, that's fine. Rubber would be the thing there. That's more of a niche thing. Well, we need 50 of these to start with anyway. 1.5 per minute, we could always scale that down to just like 1 per minute. What does that do? 50 and 25? Yeah, we'll just do that for now. So we're going to need 2 containers. That might be too close, I think. I think we'll just do 2 containers. Well, here's where we can actually stack them up if we want to, though. Because we can do one there, and one there. We have put one in there, and then one down. Too steep? Really? Well, then we just put a lifter on, don't we? And then it's not too steep anymore. Well, okay, then there we go. Need a little bit more distance. Now, we don't actually have any casings on us, I don't think. What about in storage? I bet we do. Yeah, aluminium casing. Let's take a stack of those out. And what about heavy modular frames? There we go. So we can put a stack of those in the top, those in the bottom, and then hook up you to there. That's all working fine. And then we just need to have something coming out the backside. And you don't have any other byproducts, do you? No, you're just that. No other byproducts. Oh, I thought I was not going to have to worry about you, but... Okay, well, I got it down before you got in my way. What are you doing? That's so stupid. Okay. That would be a good thing to soma sloop, but it needs 4 like a manufactory does, so that's a bit expensive. Maybe we want to upgrade this just so it fills up faster, to be honest. I think there's something to be said for just filling things up faster. Yeah, it doesn't run through them that fast, but it gets going quicker. We've only given it enough to make 4, though. Well, 50 of those. So that's good that it's, you know, 1-to-1. Makes sense that it's 1-to-1. It would be a bit disappointing if it was like 2 heavy frames to make 1 fused one. But, so 50 times 50 is... 2,500? Yeah, 2,500. That's half a container's worth, because they stacked 200. Half a container's worth, okay. Well, we can now follow our silicon train. And I think, yeah, it's faster to run on the conveyor belt. And we don't have power on the way back either. And this is where we currently have these stacked up at this point here. We almost need to stack it up again to go back the other way. But I think we want to just run it in parallel, perhaps, and have casings going the other way, and then I can run on a conveyor belt that's going the way that I want. There we go. Got power. Yeah, no, that's the sheets. No, this is the... There we go. And you're all full, and everything it makes now is just going into the sink because we have so much excess. And you are producing 40 per minute, and we will be using 50 per minute. Awkward. And that's after we've already tipped the scales a bit. Ah, no, that's right. Yeah, casings is the one that we originally wanted more of. That's right. And we were thinking, oh no, we were producing more of, and then we wanted more of these, but we actually don't care about this many of these anymore because we've got so many now, so we can back that right off again. Now we're only using 30, which means that we can pull this back up to using 90. And that makes the 60 per minute. Oh, we need to put a lot more stuff into storage, looks like. The rods are only used for the supports, so we don't need to worry too much. We'll go this way around the hill instead. I can hear the thump. Oh, there's a wreck. Have I been to this wreck? There's our... There we go. So we want to go more this way. We should have made a marker for where our nitrogen was, so that way we could have followed the marker. We don't really want to block more of these. I guess we can kind of go across the middle of it though, right? We won't really be impeding any of the other nodes. Let's just take it up higher as well. Alright, and then we can just pop it into the back of this one. You can actually sit on top of the thing there. That's quite convenient, to be honest. There. And they should get here eventually. I should have brought some more with me, but never mind. So we have 16 of them anyway, actually, from Rex and such. And now we have 4 more, so now we have 20. So we only need 30 more. But, I mean, I'm going to need a lot more. Time to upgrade all of these and get us just a ton of metal plates in our inventory. I should have made it this in the first place. run along here to get back here quickly, and then we just get over to the silica one to run back the other way. There we go. So this will now feed in super fast. This container here will be where we come to collect more of these when we want them. See how quickly you can do things when you actually don't get so distracted? So we can actually start to make some nuclear materials if we want to. Because our train is just going to be full at a certain point. And I don't think, actually I don't know, but I wouldn't have expected you could just awesome sink uranium. Maybe you can. Maybe we could just be doing that just to get rid of it for the time being. Well, what's the next thing that we need to do anyway? So space elevator parts that we know of. Magnetic field generator is the next one that we can work on. We're currently working on assembly director system. So these need electromagnetic control rods, which in turn need stators and AI limiters, which is fine. I can actually set that up pretty quickly. And this is our good old friend versatile framework that uses modular frames and steel beams. Well, let's get back to base anyway and investigate the next steps. We should be able to just slip down here. There we go. Delicate whether or not you get the right direction, but now we're going to go super fast through here now because we've got extra boosts. We are going to get rocketed off. And we were already going super fast. And we're going to run out of power. And then we're going to get power back again. This is not the ideal solution. I don't know what is though. Probably just connecting it up so we no longer have that break at that point. Well, first things first, let's check out our MAM anyway. What have we got here now? Biocoal and leached copper ingot. Excuse me? Okay, so we can make tons of copper. I don't feel the need to do that. Biocoal, I've rejected this recipe so many times now. Electrode aluminium scrap. Alumina and petroleum coke. Interesting. To make even more aluminium scrap than normal. Huh. Or leached iron ingot, which uses iron and sulfuric acid to make lots of iron. None of these are useful. I'll just do that. I don't find any of that particularly useful. Let's investigate another one anyway. So the next important thing, I think, is the electromagnetic control rods, which needed an assembler, they needed stators, and they needed something else. AL limiters. You are making AL limiters at a rate of 3 per minute, which are going straight through here because they're actually backing up to here now. We could split you off though. You only use like 1, right? Yeah, 1. Okay. Have this going underneath or back around is the other option. It's just clipping into the support pillar, which, you know, is cosmetic only anyway, so we kind of don't care. There would be enough room here for... enough room for a lifter to come out so that we can offload where they go. Or just a conveyor belt to just come this way. Can we do this? We can. Good. Alright. So if you are set up to make... Where are you? Oh, heat sinks are here. Okay. Oh, heat sinks are just that, and... Oh, and copper. The very thing that we also... Okay, I need to set up an assembler over at my aluminium. I didn't even think to look about that. Okay, here we go. Yes, 4 per minute, 6 per minute. We're going to drop you down to 2 per minute. Oops. Ah, numpad doesn't work. That's right. 2 per minute. There we go. So that will use exactly what we have coming in. We can give you some status right now. And some hour limiters, in fact. There we go. We can get you started. Good. Now we need to worry about hooking up the inputs. That's fine. Now, can a lifter fit on here? Should be able to. Okay. Not quite as well as I would have hoped. That's slightly annoying. Should I put a lifter on this side instead? I did not realize that these were going through the pill. I mean, it kind of works, though. It looks almost like they're going through the gap. They're not quite, but they almost are. I find that amusing. Okay, no, they can stay there. If we get rid of this, a lifter's going to clip more on here, isn't it? Then it's already a mess, so does that matter? We do that there, and then we bring that out. So that's going to clip there. Or we can just bring it out this far first, and then connect it the rest of the way. There we go. So unfortunately this is only producing one at a time, so then one goes one way, one goes the other way. I can double this. Honestly, I should look to double this at some point. We could also just soma sloop it for the time being and make two at a time. Because the problem is it makes only one at a time. I'd love it to make two at a time and then one goes either way, right? That would be even better. We could double it for the copper sheets without much issue. Quick wire, on the other hand, we are finely balanced on quick wire at the moment, I think. That's alright. We can steal a lot of these for the time being, because that's all backed up there anyway. And they can all go in here, and then flood this, and it'll split 50-50 again. Okay. Now, stators. Currently coming in over here. We could put a splitter here, because I still do want them feeding into here. I used 5 per minute from here. Obviously not at the moment. So put a splitter in at this point. In fact, we can deconstruct this whole stretch there and put the splitter in right at the end here. And then put you connecting on to there. You connecting around here. And then you going, I'm not sure which way, probably this way. And now we have spaghetti. Okay, it's got to get under here. Alright. Maybe we can't lift this up too high, actually. Huh. I think we can lift that up to its maximum, though, instead of just going as far as that. So let's do this and take that all the way up and bring it this way. If we then bring this all the way across here, it doesn't quite fit, but it's not as bad as I expected. We can't go on top of... We can go on top of some of these. We can go on top of this conveyor belt here. I can't twist it too much because there's the lifter for the sheets that are coming in. We can do that and then have it... Okay, we actually want this facing this way, and we can go up one without it clipping on there. And we just have this power pole here. We just have it going through. It's already going through a container anyway. I wish you could make power poles taller. That's also not the best way to have power coming through here. It should go around the side. Whatever. Don't really care. So then you can do this. You're actually not clipping against anything doing that? That's crazy. Okay, that's quite funny that it just doesn't have a problem. Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, it's horrific, but it's also beautiful. Load you up, and now we need to power you. Where's power coming from at the moment? You are coming across... Oh, from that problematic power pole, in fact. So we actually want to put a power line in line here and intercept this to go this way, I think. We bring it across... We'll just zigzag it a bit. Bring it across there first. Oops. And then you are... Oh, going underneath everything. Perfect. I like that. And then instead of connecting you directly, I think I want to bring a power pole over here. And it just goes above the plastic. And then you can connect from there. From here across to there. And I don't think we need to do anything fancy with that. We can always put an extra pole in later. Okay, we have electromagnetic rods now working as well. Perfect. Good. Nice. Not making them quickly. Only 2 per minute. Which, again, we could double in the meantime while we need them. We probably should double something like this, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. For now. Why not? Next batch will produce more. They can start going into that container. So the next thing we need, we want the versatile framework in, right? 5 to 2, right. We're making 2 of those per minute. We want our target for that is 5 per minute, which is the default. So that's fine. Or we can mix in some rubber as well. I think rubber we're kind of backing up on, in fact. Ooh. That's a problem. Okay, I thought we were using that. Oh, because cable's backed up. Of course, we're not actually using it right now. We're not using enough of it. Plastic's probably also backing up at some point, right? Not quite. Rubber's the main problem. Let's take out a huge bunch of that first, though, and put it in over here where we're making the flexible, heavy frames. Not that you need more at the moment, looks like. No, you don't. That's a shame. Because you need lots of other things. Modular frames, in fact. There you go. Make 7 more, thanks. It's a good start. Modular frames, which go in here and are, in fact, full. So we can swap that. And then we will also need screws. It is a conscious choice at the moment to not feed that automatically. Simply because it would drain our screws completely if we left it going constantly. But we do have iron going up the back there that we could just turn into screws, because we have this steel that was coming down here that we haven't been using. I keep talking about how I was going to get rid of that. I wonder if I don't get rid of that actually and set up some dedicated construction. So what do we currently have going on here? You are still working, right, but I need more supercomputers to get everything that I need. I didn't mean to click on this, but it's useful to see. Our maximum consumption has been a flat line for a while, which is nice. Okay, we have... So we need 500. Oh, I think we have everything we need actually for those. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 400. Didn't we tune it so that the adaptive control units would give exactly what we wanted? Wait, but that's not right. I think we're short. I think we haven't made enough adaptive control units. That feels wrong. Oh, there's 20 more in here. Okay, never mind. Well, let's put those in here then. 32 to 32, but doubled, I think. No, well, it's 32 to 32 because that is the doubled amount. So it's now 30. 32, 30. That's not enough. Bollocks. Okay, that's annoying, because I had been working on the assumption that that had been balanced properly. That's a shame. So we'll need to figure out how many more we need of those. But if I have another assembler down that makes the versatile framework again, 2.5 per minute, so not too many, and then 30 per minute steel beams, which I believe was the construction rate of steel beams. This was making pipes. We actually make beams instead. 15, okay. From 60? Okay. So it wouldn't be enough. We could underclock it. Otherwise, we had a manufactory also using rubber, because hey, we do need some other way to use a lot of rubber. So we just put this down facing this way instead. Flexible framework. 3.75, 22.5, and 30 rubber to make 7.5. But if we dropped that down to 5, 2.5, 15, and then 20. Okay. And just have this connecting up here, because that's a splitter anyway. There we go. And then have you set up for steel beams. And you come in here. Alright, and then modular framework from here, we want you going around here. But I actually want you to do more of a direct path around here. Actually, I might even want you going up and over, because I'm also going to want to put a container down here to feed the other one in. How is that an invalid shape? There we go. So we actually want to have this come up here and then go here and just do that. Yeah. Sure. But this uses 15 per minute modular frames. That's one of the reasons I'm not feeding that directly. Otherwise we just need to underclock this hugely. But even 1 per minute would be 5, and we're only making 4 double overclocked here. I think we do have alternative recipes for modular frames though, right? Steel frame instead, for example? Oh, that would use steel pipes. Oh, really? That's interesting. 3 and 12, it would be 2 and 10 instead. I'm just gonna pop you down and find out what you mean. Okay, we need to power you first though. And yeah, rubber is the other thing. So, I haven't left enough room here for a lifter, have I? Well, kind of. Kind of. Okay. That's fine. It's a lot to get tangled up in when I come shooting out of my hypertube now, that's for sure. I think I might need to reposition that. I'm not sure exactly how. I'm just slamming my face into a power pole as soon as I come out, I think, at the moment. It's a bit of a concern. Right, so you... We're now going to put a splitter on. Oh, we can't put splitters... Oh, we can just put it on the top, though. Yeah. Cool. I don't even know what... That is just 1. Okay. We're probably going to want to increase that. Not sure. Because what do you need? Yes, 60 per minute if you're using it full capacity. Yep. But you're not, because we're not actually making enough. Oh, that's double overclocked. I don't think I meant to leave that double overclocked, because we were running out through the wire. I mean, we're not now because everything's backed up, but I think the idea was we don't need it to do that. It was just to address a shortfall at the time. Okay. So, oh, we can also put this rubber in here now to get that going. And then fire you up. Which we can connect from this one as well. There we go. Nice. And then we can have double size container, I think, to put versatile framework in, which might actually put sideways, to be honest. Let's just do that like that. Cool. It's not elegant, but it will work. Ah, now we need to get the steel beams going. Of course, we need to power you as well. Okay, I didn't realize I'd put the power pole in you, but that's fine. That works, I guess. I think I put you down because I was going to power you off that instead, but never mind. We also have a ton of steel beams in here, right? So let's just do that. Oh, I didn't put a... I need to put a container in line. Always put a container in line. There you go. You are now full. Now you can go. Nice. I could even make that a double. If we made this produce 6 per minute, what will that do? 3, 18, and 24? It's kind of fine. Well, now we're working our way towards the next component anyway. Now, how are you going? You're still working, but we've got 34 supercomputers in there. I think that's as many as I'm meant to need, which says to me that I'm quite a lot short of these, which is concerning. And it's a weird number too. I thought I'd balanced things. Clearly I did not.